All India Radio, Chennai. Tonight in our weekly program of English, we bring you the final part of an interview titled Penned to Perform, an interview on the revolutionary national education policy of the central government. The interviewee is Dr.R.Jagannathan, Provost of St. Teresa University, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Caribbeans. In conversation with him is Srimati M. Rajarajeshwari.
National education policy is aimed at bringing in access, equity, quality and accountability. What are its features? How does national education policy envision a transformation? To know more, we have Professor Dr. R. Jagannathan with us. Sir, we've been talking about the various stages, like how school children will get a lot of exposure and how teachers will have, different kind of training, and how this continuous assessment, will help and really bring a holistic change in the Indian education system. Sir, but what are the challenges you think will be in implementing this national education policy, especially in a country like India where it is multicultural and multilingual?
As far as the national education policy now being drafted is concerned, it emphasizes on promoting multilingualism and Indian languages. The medium of instruction until at least grade 5, but preferably till grade 8 and beyond, will be the home language or mother tongue or local language or regional language. Nowhere in the 65-page NEP 2020 booklet, any language is suppressed or imposed. Nowhere. On the other hand, the children's ability to learn new languages being very high at young ages, NEP insists in learning the subjects in mother tongue and regional languages based upon their career plans. As far as a career plan is concerned, in case a student wants to communicate well in a factory, choose a language suitable for that. If you want to become a doctor or an engineer or a scientist, choose a language in which more books and journals are available and the language through which you can contribute to the subject, so that you choose the medium of learning at a higher level based upon your career plan.
So along with their curriculum, they will also have these kind of skill trainings.
Skill training at higher level, especially after the grade 8.
Okay.
So that when they are very young, teach them only in mother tongue and regional languages and local languages. But beyond that, let them choose an additional language based upon their career plan, so that their career is not blocked just because of a particular language.
Exactly. How much of a quality push do you think this is needed in higher education, sir, especially in India?
Yes. When we talk about the higher education, the whole scenario is becoming the problems of the world as such. As far as the world is concerned, now presently the world is undergoing rapid changes in the knowledge landscape, especially 3. 1, the agriculture. We need to produce more and more food for the burgeoning population with a limited resources of land, labor and other inputs. How are you going to do that? Healthcare. We need to protect our population from hunger, nutritional deficiencies, disease, pandemic, problems of advancing age, medical emergencies, etc. How are you going to do this and provide this for the entire population of the planet? And these are all very urgent problems. So unless the youth are being trained, the youth of all the countries are being trained, and in a competent way, in a quality way, this we cannot achieve. So the NEP addresses taking up this responsibility. But we can ask the question, why India should address this problem? Every other developed countries as well should be addressing the problem. India has got a very prominent role because the 140 crore population we have, 43% of them are youth. That is 60 crore are youth. If you just consider the USA or China, only 20% are youth population. Even in Indonesia, who is coming next to us, they are having only 24% of youth population. So India has got a responsibility to take care of the problems of the planet. So the NEP is designed according to that. And this has been reported by the United Nations in one of its reports. Hence, if you want to emerge stronger in global arena, get the youth educated with world-class competence. The national education policy now treats the university education as a multidisciplinary education and the universities as research universities, so that the interdisciplinary research will be easier. This is absolutely very important. The reason is that at higher level of understanding, the biological sciences merge with chemistry and physics, the physical sciences. For example, if you just take the number of Nobel laureates in medicine or physiology so far, from 1901 to 2022, there are 226 people who have got Nobel Prizes for medicine. But do you know, half of them are not doctors.
Is it?
So, how many of them are not having a basic medical degree, It's about 50%.
Okay, it's because of this interdisciplinary
Yes.
feature.
So, probably the IITs may start an MBBS program shortly. We do not know. So, as a result, now the interdisciplinary concentration is absolutely essential to get a totality of understanding of the nature.
So, what kind of changes are required now at the college level or even at the universities level, sir?
See, the higher education, if you just see, apart from the school education approach, this is to be treated as an asset. The higher education in any country is an asset. Two types of assets. One is a rich cultural asset, so that the citizens will all be matured better. Then the second thing, the higher education is a rich scientific asset, so that the quality of life, health, economy, security, respectability of the country will all improve for the entire nation. Therefore, higher education enables personal development, promotes the economic, technological, social challenges of the whole country. Like we have developed our own vaccines, we have our own space missions. So like that, the country's credibility and the power goes up.
Sir, you've been working with Middle East universities and you've been in United States. So in comparison with the Western nations, what kind of universities are needed in India, according to you?
That's an excellent question. Here, the public is to be aware of many things that's going around us in the world. See, as far as, for example, let's take one example, the Nobel Prizes awarded every year. So far, about 1,000 people have been given the Nobel Prize from 1901 till date, 989, of which India has got a population of 140 crore. We have got only 12 Nobel Prizes so far over these 120 years. But the USA has got only 1/4 of our population, 33 crore, but they got 383 Nobel Prizes. Just to take, for example, the UK and also Germany, they have a population of about 8 to 9 crores only. Each of them have got about 132 Nobel laureates. So that means something is seriously wrong somewhere in our educational system. That's what the NEP is now addressing to. As a result, now instead of the quantity of education, we should be concentrating upon the quality of education. So that's where the whole criteria now stands.
So what type of universities that we have right now and how can it be upgraded? So,
see, as far as the universities are concerned now, we have 4 types of universities available in India now. We have the central universities, the state-funded universities, the deemed universities, the private universities. So if we just take the number, the government universities are about half of them, that is, of the total 1,070 universities, about 513 are the government universities. The rest, 557, about 50% is private universities. But now what is needed is that the NEP is now bringing down the cost of education to the lay people, the ordinary people. Now, vast difference of the cost difference comes from the government university and the private university. The cost is sky high in private universities. So, all the education institutions from now onwards in the NEP will be held to similar standards of audit and disclosure as a not-for-profit entity. It's now made as a must. This will change the educational scenario in the country totally, providing affordable access to all people without any discrimination.
So apart from, monitoring only the children, they're also going to monitor the commercialization that's been happening for a long time right now.
Yes.
Having seen various education systems, how much would you insist on a transformation like national education policy, sir?
See, as far as there are 2 things that have been achieved by this new educational policy. One is India has got multiple agencies to fund research in the different institutions. Say, for example, the DST, UGC, CSIR, all these people are funding. So these multiple agencies to do research funding, now none of them is able to fund major research projects because the country, whatever the government allocates, these multiple agencies, so each one of them have got a small budget only, so they are not able to fund major projects. So a single agency is to fund science projects in the country, similar to the National Science Foundation of USA, is the need of the hour. Because of this, what has happened is that the many times we have been missing some of the major projects of the mankind. Sometimes we were close to Nobel Prize, but we have missed them by a whisker. So the presently contemplated National Research Funding Authority will be addressing this problem, increasing India's scientific prowess globally. This is a major breakthrough in NEP.
Okay. So simultaneously, there's going to be transparency as well as accountability that's going to come in.
Yes, and also the higher education will be made to be cheaper and accessible to all strata of public.
So what more needs to be done to make Indian education on par with global systems, sir? Do you think this national education policy, or should we be, sticking to the times, like how it improves?
See, as far as the higher education is concerned, the material for education should be available for everyone. That is, knowledge should be available, knowledge should be dispersed, knowledge should be delivered in a pragmatic way. For that, we have a beautiful system from 2015 onwards. One interesting fact which has been missed to the public view is that if you just take the IIT Kharagpur, it has set up a national digital library. It is offering 6.5 million books, journals, research publications, and highly technical write-ups free, not only to all students, but also to everyone, not only in India, in the whole world. It is now one of the biggest digital repository in the world. It can be accessed from anywhere in the world. Just if you have an Android phone or a desktop internet connection, you can have access to all these things. The whole world is stunned, because India makes knowledge now available for the entire world free of cost. India's commitment to treat the whole world as a single one family is in the real sense being implemented. And professional education will also be an integral part of the other educational system. By this, what we mean is that at the higher education level, the different streams of education are all merging together. For example, if you just take the science and technology, we have the biological sciences, which merge with the chemical sciences, which in turn merges with the physical sciences. So as a result, ultimately we are bothered about nature. So the problems of mankind are that we have to understand the nature better and better. If I just simply ask you a question, what is the aim of your life? Then we should be giving an answer in such a manner that the answer is applicable to human being, to a tiger, to a fish, to an ant, to everyone. Because we are just asking, what's the aim of life? Life is there for everyone, including a plant. So what's the aim of life? So the answer is to live as long as possible and as comfortably as possible.
And also in unison with nature.
Yes, this is possible only if you understand nature better and better. And this is possible only when the higher education system is made stronger and stronger, more quality oriented and more competence oriented. So if you compromise on these things, then the quality of life of the people in the country will go down or can go down. So we cannot afford to do that.
Thank you, Professor. That was such a pleasure talking to you. None other than you can, break down national education policy into such layman terms. Such an insightful interview. Thank you so much.
Nice of you. Have a great day. Thank you.
You just listened to the concluding part of an interview titled Penned to Perform, an interview on the revolutionary national education policy of the central government. The interviewee was Dr.R.Jagannathan, Provost, St. Teresa University, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Caribbeans. In conversation with him was Srimati M. Rajarajeshwari. With that, we come to the end of this edition of Program in English, and that broadcast came to you from the Chennai studios of All India Radio.